Hello, everybody, and welcome to A2I Dyslexia live show. It's such an honor to have you all join us this evening. We're in London, in the UK, so I can say this evening. If you're joining us from anywhere else in the world, I want to welcome you to A2I Dyslexia live show, All Things Dyslexia. It's a pleasure to have the guest we've got today. Get my tongue twisted. It's I was mentioning her name in a minute and what she does, but she's a really phenomenal young lady who is bringing awareness of dyslexia within the Ghanaian community. Now, I'll just tell you something funny that just happened, and now you will know that dyslexic people can get things muddled up. And I think the mistake come from my fault, really. So I was ready, waiting for Rosalind, and I'm like, okay, she'll come on at 7 p.m. And guess what? I hadn't put, I think something called GMT, or I did probably put GMT, but I don't quite understand what it means. I don't think I'm the only one that doesn't understand this GMT thing to do with time. But what I should have put on the flyer is UK time. So it got a little bit muddled up, but in the end, we've managed to resolve the problem. And in fact, earlier, Rosalind and I was actually laughing about this because it's little things like this that can really make a dyslexic person feel like, oh, damn, you know, I could have done that differently. Or if I only knew about it. I know that I'm probably not the only one, but this GMT and B, whatever you call it, in UK time can get a little bit muddly. But apart from that, she finally joined us, and I'd like to welcome the amazing Rosalind. But before I do that, I want to tell the listeners or the viewers who I am. My name is Elizabeth Techi. I'm the founder of A2I Dyslexia. The only reason I wanted to do this because a lot of people, some people are new in watching our program. Our live show rather, and I just think it's only right that I introduce who I am and the passion behind the work I do and why I really admire Rosalind for the kind of work she's doing in Ghana, West Africa. Now, I also say that it's really good that we can all collaborate or have some kind of partnership or help each other along this way, because you can't do the job on your own. And I mean, when I finally found Rosalind, or when she actually engaged in one of our programs, I was just really excited to know that there is someone back home who's bringing awareness of this condition, that if you don't take care of it and if you don't go and look for help, it can really cripple you in every part of your life. Now, Rosalind's story is absolutely, again, phenomenal. And you're probably thinking, oh God, she used that word every week. I do, because it is an amazing story. And I think she's very brave, like myself, to have come out within the Ghanaian community and talk about dyslexia openly. Not many people do that, and people struggle and keep it all to themselves, and it has so many repercussions for not going for the help you need. And I think Rosalind's doing an amazing work, and I really take my hat off to her, and I salute her for the amazing work she's doing back in Ghana and the awareness she's spreading. Recently, I think she's done a lot of live shows with other dyslexia organizations, and hey, together we can bring change. Welcome, Rosalind Abigail Chret Nate, to A2I Dyslexia live show. Abigail, welcome.
Thank you so much, Miss Lee, for having me. I'm excited to hang out with you this evening.
You're welcome. How are you? How are you feeling?
I'm awesome. It's been meetings back to back today. And for us to just be confused with something as little as time really tells how the struggle with dyslexia is.
To be honest with you. Yeah, so I mean, your journey of dyslexia is really remarkable. It's such an amazing story. And the day I spoke to you, which is some time ago now, a couple of months ago, I by the time I said goodbye to you, I was literally jaw dropped. And I was like, wow, how did she manage? I just went to primary school in Ghana. I didn't do all the other education. But I think what's really important today is for our community to engage on this live show, to understand what dyslexia is, and to go for the help they need. Because when you don't do anything about it, it doesn't just disappear. It can literally cripple you in every part of your life. And you know that. And I know that. So welcome to the show. And I'm just going to read a little bit about who you are and what you do. And I really got so much respect for you. And I've got so much respect for all our guest speakers that have been on our show. But I think when it's quite close to home, it's a bit, exciting. So you're a guest experienced hotelier. You work for Disney Hospitality Leader Fellowship. Or fellow rather, founder of Africa Dyslexia Organization. You've got a very big job on your hands, Africa in general. Yeah, Dyslexia Awareness Champion. You're based in, this organization is based in Accra. in Ghana. So Rosalind is seasoned and successful leader with a track record of producing, presenting, and managing the implementation of innovation, hospitality, and tourism business solutions and services in Africa and across the world in the past 15 years. That was a bit of a mouthful for me, all those big words. But anyway, I've been sort of practicing them all week, so I've got used to them. Rosalind is dyslexic, who started reading at the age of 17. She holds MSc International Hospitality Management from Swiss Hotel Management School in Switzerland. She's Walt Disney Hospitality Leadership Fellow and worked as guest experience manager at Walt Disney World, U.S.A. I was talking to my 10-year-old about the kind of work you do. She said, "Mummy, please become friendly with with Rosalind so I can get to go to Disneyland." I said, "I'll try my best for you, my love." So currently, Rosalind is a lead consultant at IQ. What's that, Mandu? What's that?
IQ Mundo.
Yeah.
It's a Spanish word for global.
Right, okay. Swiss Education Group country rep for Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, founder of Africa Dyslexia Organization, World Economic Forum's Global Shaper, and founding creator of Dodowa Hub of Global Shapers Community. Now, just explain to our viewers and our listeners, what's Dodowa? Is it a place?
Yes, Dodowa is a city or a town in Ghana, just about an hour drive from Accra. It's located in the eastern part of Ghana, so it's within the Greater Accra district.
Wonderful. So Rosalind speaks at various events, both locally and internationally. She moderates a panel discussion on women in business, focusing on economic empowerment for women, organized by Coca-Cola at the World Economic Forum on Africa in 2015. She also serves as the discussion leader on unlocking Africa using tourism at the World Economic Forum meeting on Africa in Cape Town, South Africa, and was a panel member at the Africa 80 launch in Johannesburg, South Africa, and spoke on the subject Africa transformation through collaboration. Wow, Rosalind, there's so much you've done here. It's absolutely phenomenal. And I did mention this to a colleague of mine today, and I said, look, I can't wait to have her on A2I Dyslexia live show. The awareness of dyslexia has to be known across Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, everywhere else. Now, the floor's all yours. Tell me a little bit about yourself from your childhood and why you want to make a change with in terms of dyslexia within Ghana.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Rosalind, as you already know. I'm connecting with you today from Accra, Ghana. I am someone who kind of started being aware of my low academic performance at a very early stage. I was approximately between the age of 8 and 10. I'm not quite sure which age I was. And I was living with my grandmother at a place called Aroso. And so one Christmas, we had our cousins coming to us for the Christmas holidays, and they came with this beautiful colored books and all that. And all these young people were reading and just like having a command over the book. And I just thought to myself, no, I can't do what they're doing. So one cousin of mine just called me and be like, "Hey, come here. Take this book and read to us." And so he gave me the book. I opened the book and I was just staring at the page. I couldn't identify a word. And I was standing there and they were like, "Read, read, read." And I'm like, I can't read. And the moment, you know how kids are, they started laughing and laughing and tears started dropping down my head. That moment hurts me so much. And the moment when they left after the Christmas holiday, I told my grandmother, "You know what? I'm not going to stay here with you again. You have to take me to the city." To me, as a child, I was thinking maybe because I'm staying with my grandmother and I'm not attending the school that is the reason why I couldn't read and write. And so I did a whole lot of you can imagine a young child who says, "You have to do this," and the grandmother is saying no. So I became very, very stubborn. I would cause all kinds of troubles, and finally grandma arranged for me to be picked to the city. when we came and I started living with my aunt, and I should have even stayed with my grandmother, because over at my aunt's place, we were staying in a compound house. And it was a huge compound house in a place called Sohum. And we had a lot of children in the house. And so children and some who were very bit older than me, and they are all like academic performers. Everybody in the house at that time can read, even though those that I was older than could read, except me. Just my name, I couldn't even spell my name. And that was the moment where I was like, oh my God, what have I found myself in? However, I kept going to school because the school wasn't like stopping school or anything wasn't like a choice for me. But going to school, I mean, I was repeated several times. I was called names like, you are lazy, you are stupid, you are dumb. And you went to school a bit over here. So you remember schools that they would do mentals, dictations, and mentals are usually like quick tests in the early mornings where they will ask you 7 plus 5, this plus this, and then you have to on the spot say the answer. And if you get it wrong, that means you're receiving lashes, which they'll be caning you. And so if the teacher is going in circles for like 5 times, that means I was receiving lashes 5 times, because there's no way I could get anything right. And
let me just stop you 1 minute, please, Rosalind. Now, just so that our viewers understand, because I think we've got a bigger platform for everybody. When Rosalind says lashes, we're talking about getting beat with a cane, by the way. And when she's talking about the dictation, it's basically first thing in the morning, teachers will be asking, like, it's sort of like a spelling test or like a maths test. Mm-hmm. So I just thought I'll explain that to people, because I know I've got a few of those lashes. So us in the belt, is it a cane or belt, or you hold your ear, you'll be going up and down, or whatever the punishment was. So I just thought I'd come in there. So sorry to interrupt you. So carry on with that. I think coming from where you were.
I will always be getting this canes and punishments just because I'm getting something wrong in the school. And my very scary ones were the ones that they will call you so loud in the class and ask you to stand up and read. And so I adopted a strategy where, because we were reading from paragraph in the book to paragraph, I will go and sit maybe at the last but one in the class and really call my best friend to sit by me and ask her, you know what, I'll start to count heads to know exactly which paragraph I'll be reading, and ask her to read to me. And this girl would do her best. But guess what, Liz? It will get to my turn and I don't remember anything she has read or spending her time teaching me. And so I'll receive lashes again. I'm saying it like joke as today, but this was a horrifying moment for a young child. Now, fast forward, we got to JHS 3, which is junior high school. And in Ghana here, you have to sit for the basic certificate education examination and pass before you can get access to go to the high school. And so I did change a lot of schools, but my last school, which was my JHS school, at the JHS 3, which was the final year, called my parents and said, you know what? We cannot add Rosalind to the year group to register for this BSA exams. And the only reason they had is, one, we are afraid she's going to, it's not like we are afraid, she's definitely going to bring down our scores because she's a non-performer. Two, you might ask, okay, if you're a non-performer, why are they forcing you to go and write the exams? To be in JSS 3 or the final year of that particular level of education, you are probably within 14 or 15. Here I was almost turning 18. Almost 18 in Ghana, you are supposed to be finishing your what? Your high school education. So that means I was outgrowing the class and I was living in the class with people between the age of 13, 14, and 15. So I had no choice at that moment. I just had to move on. And so the solution was, if you think she's outgrowing the class and she can't repeat again, take her to a village, get her a school in the village, register her and let her sit for that exams. For me, this was like, as if hell has come upon me. That was the moment my confidence broke down. It got damaged. A lot of fears came into me. Why am I saying this? Imagine yourself, and if you are somebody watching, just imagine yourself going to school, making friends with so many people that you know on a daily basis. But it gets to a very important milestone in your life like this. And the school tells you that because of your low performance in school, they cannot add you to your mates that you know you're comfortable with. They cannot add you to them. It's like you have been putting aside, you have been taken out as like you're a damaged goods. Therefore, you are not part of us. So go our way and be with people that we think you are with. When you change school, we all know that when we change school and we even go to different school, the first week and second week or third week, it's so hard for someone to integrate because you don't know anybody. You're a fresh comer. You don't know faces there. But imagine a girl of my age asking me to go and be with some people I've never seen in my life before, register with them, and on the week of the examination, which was I think a week or 2 weeks, I spent time with this unknown face, sitting in the same class, writing exams, which the exams I'm writing, I wasn't even able to read almost like 80% of the words I was saying. What did you think happened to that child? And so this was what happened to me. But the school was not far from the truth. It's true, the results came up and I had failed poorly. So imagine if they had added me, I would have really bring down their scores. Now, when I failed, everybody was suggesting, oh, Rosalind, maybe you should go and learn a trade because now you can get access to go to the high school. So they were suggesting go and be hairdressing, go into sewing of clothes. Today we call it fashion. So it's more nice. Hairstyling is more nice. But at that time, when they ask you to go into fashion or go into sewing of clothes or learning how to do hair, at that young age, you feel like they've killed you or something. But there was one friend I had who stood up and was like, you know what? Don't think anybody knows you. And you don't know yourself well. But I think I do know you and you are good for something. Never listen to any word anybody is saying to you. You are good for something. And I said, what can you tell me to actually comfort me? Then he said, you are very good when it comes to food. I come to your house, you cook, you give everybody, you gather all of us and you cook for us. And we love it. So I think there's something called catering. And you can do catering by going to the vocational school. And so if you're open, you can explore that option. I was like, my parents were so fed up with me already. However, he assisted me. We got the prospectus, we filled it up, and I got admission to that school. Over here in Ghana, when you go to technical school or vocational school, it's considered that it's the school for quote unquote people who are very low performance. And so already putting myself there, it's like I have a tag on me. Oh, she didn't perform. That's why, we studied. You see, she couldn't attend high school. She has ended up in the vocational school. But little did they know that it was the turnaround for me. For me, that was my miracle ground. Even for my dad, when he took me to the school, he told the proprietor on that day we arrived, all right, I'm bringing my daughter to you. I have no expectation of her. Just let her pass through this school and let her finish. And then he went off. Now I started picking up. I started I don't know how everything happened, but today as an adult, when I think about it, and I know with what I know today, I understand that the vocational and technical school do something best that the normal education system does not have. I was having hands-on experience, practical experience, experiential. And that
which is let me just stop you there 1 minute, Rosalind. Now you were using your strengths to the best of your ability. Now, I grew up in Ghana, and obviously I'm in the Ghanaian community, so I get what you mean. Now, a lot of the time, things like hairdressing and making clothes and as a fashion designer, back in those days, or even maybe now, I don't know, they don't really see that as an achievement. Now, this is the bit that I get really upset about, because I normally say to people or parents whose children are going into creatives, now, Gucci, Armani, Prada, all these companies that have got fashion line, surely someone's sitting there making it. Now, you would go as a parent or as whoever you may be, you will go out and purchase that. What's wrong with your child going to learn how to sew? Now, the mentality back home that it's seen as is frowned upon. You look at Tony and Guy, you look at all these high street hairdressers that we've got in the UK, who are very, very creative people. But yet, if you're, your child wants to go to a hairdresser, and there's a big, big problem about it. We only want our children to be lawyers, doctors, and solicitors. Now, it gets me so angry. And the only thing I want to say is that we're not all cut out to be that. There are creative sides to us. Look at you today. Look at the amazing, work you've got, the job that you do. That is so creative and it's so brilliant at doing that. And I normally say to people in our community, let your children go with their strengths. Even if you're somebody watching at the moment and you feel that, look, this is what I want to do, but it isn't lawyer, solicitor, or whatever it might be, but yet you've got creative side to you, tap into that. Because whatever the strengths are is what will make you excel to another level. Let's not knock creativity, because it's so important that we actually recognize that we are not all cut out to be writing a 5-10 page report at work. Rather, we're quite hands-on people, dyslexic people. Most of us are very creative. I just had to come in there, Rosalind. So carry on with your story.
Very lovely. And I like how you interjected with that, because especially in Africa, they have to know some of the essence of this. I mean, even till today, it still happens. I am somebody, even before Africa Dyslexia, I go to schools a lot and talk about how the students should start thinking about learning something different from always the normal traditional programs we've heard of, that I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be engineer. There is so much to when it comes to skill building that what we really know of. And I have in the past really studied the progress. I mean, everybody who went to school with me to do catering, people I have seen going to vocational school, are somewhere, they have something to do, because you have something on your hand. You don't even need the certificates. I can just put all certificates I have down today, and I'll still pick my kitchen utensils and equipment and start doing something right away and making income. And that is where we missed it. But for me, that level of education was the game changer for me. It was the first time that, I mean, if you ask somebody to measure maybe an ounce of flour or something, I could see it in its physicality. If you ask me water, I see water. So if this time it's not just words, somebody standing in front of me and just saying words that I really don't understand, but I could see a picture of it. I can make my own bread. If you say bread, so measure flour, measure margarine, measure this, X, Y, Z. I can see it in its physicality. And to me, that is what started forming my mind and changing my mind, because I learned in pictures. But until that, I didn't know. I learned by doing. And that is how I learned. But still, I didn't know about dyslexia at all. So I finished school. I came into the industry. I started working. I wanted to become a cook, but when I finished and I came into the industry, I realized I could become a chef. So I started working on that. And then one time at the workplace, I had a mentor there who came to me and was like, you know what, I'm going to give you opportunity to go through all the divisions in the hotel. Go and have internship, go from every department, spend about 3 weeks or 4 weeks in every department, and I'll take reports from everybody. I want to see something. And when I did that, she came back to me and said, you know what, you're very good at the kitchen. However, you have very good interpersonal skills. You went to the restaurant. I mean, I was in the restaurant as an intern. I was getting $100 tip in Ghana. $100 tip at the age of like 21. So my interpersonal relationship is super, super on point. And so that was when she introduced me to hospitality. She said, I don't want you to stop culinary, but you know what? Go to wherever, do whatever you want to do. And one day in life, just pay attention. And maybe you may want to know what hospitality is about, and you can go and study. And so I started researching about it. Mind you, I don't have high school certificate. And in Ghana, if you don't have high school certificate, you probably cannot go to the university. So I waited till I was 25 when I got to the age of matured student. And then I went to school and sat for the mature student entrance examination that was done by GIMPA at that time. And after I finished, which was called CAM, I finished and then I passed before I got an entrance to go to the university to do my first degree. Would I say that at all this time I had gotten over my difficulty of reading? No. To date, there are words I can't pronounce. There are words I can't read. But then I managed to go to the university, taking my time, recording every lecture as possible. I had recorded for me secretly. This time, if they hear me saying this, they probably will call me to punish me. But I that was my way out. So I will record all the lectures because they talk too fast. I don't really understand them. So when I come home, I try to sit down and digest. I was finding various means and ways to really get me through to getting my first degree.
Let me just stop you there, Rosalind. Do you know what? It's heartbreaking, and I know that I mean, someone commented, and I just hope that our studio manager will just put the comment on there. And I think there was something about Africa's changing slightly. Someone said this is interesting. Jill, hi Jill, thank you for joining us. I can't pronounce this lady's name, but I'll say a lady. Yeah, we are the voice to change that perspective in Africa. Do you know this person? Yeah.
Yes, Jiranji.
Oh, there you go, Jiranji. Yeah. So she said, from Malawi, she said, we need a lot of awareness about creative careers. I feel like things are changing now, and we need to change that kind of thinking. They should know about all these. I love these kind of conversations. Now, I know somebody who is a footballer, for example. As he was growing up, all he ever wanted to do was to play football. Dad said yes, mum said no. In the end, how much do you think footballers earn? Lots of money.
Lots of money.
And this person I know was so creative, such a brilliant footballer. But guess what? The perception is it's just a footballer, you know, and didn't really follow his dreams. And it breaks my heart to think, look, there are so many careers out there. Let's stop putting pressure on our young children or adults, maybe sort of after university or just before university. Let's stop putting pressure on them to go and do a course that you as a parent wanted to do, but couldn't do it. So you know what? You're going to be a nurse because I couldn't fulfill becoming a nurse. I'm sorry, I totally disagree. Let your children explore and have the creativity side of them. Let them do, because once they find that passion, they do so well. The amount of African children that I know that their parents have pushed them to do what they don't want to do, and guess what? They drop out of university, yeah? And they end up going the other way. And then the parents are wondering why they didn't finish education, because you're forcing them to do something that they don't have the knowledge to do. They could have dyslexia, they could have all sorts of conditions, or it may not even be an interest to them. But when we leave our children to become so creative in what they love doing, within reason, of course, they can excel and blossom to amazing things. Imagine your parents, Rosalind, were insisting that, I don't know what they wanted you to be. What did they want you to be when you were younger? What were their dreams?
No, I didn't get that opportunity because if you remember, I told you it was so obvious I was the non-performer from very early. And so they kept talking. And for me, it was like all the time, anything regarding my education was very negative. It's like, you're just wasting money. You are not doing your best. You are not doing that. And so the focus of what you really have to become was not in question. Also, my mom and my dad weren't together. They gave birth to me when they were high school students. They were school students. And so they were not living together. I was living with my aunt who also didn't go to school. And so she probably didn't also understand. Or she wanted to see that, oh, maybe you've written an exam and you have passed. And so when I write exams and I become last and I bring it, then, oh, yeah, you're wasting money, you are doing this. And then your friends will be teasing you, the teachers. I remember they will mark my book. And if I can show you, they will mark my book. And then because I get everything wrong, this is like they will do something like akukromoti. I don't know how I'll call it for the English people to see. Like that means you are wabon. You understand?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
It
And just for our viewers, wabon basically means that you're fake. Yeah, they think you're fake and you're not performing very well. And it's a word that can really knock your confidence by far. And this is why the work that Rosalind's doing in Africa, in Ghana particularly, I just think is so awesome. I know you've had the likes of Abeku Santana, you've had an interview with him, you've been on TV3, and you're really sort of bringing awareness in our community, just to let people know that dyslexia is actually real. It's not made up. And yes, Black people do get dyslexia. And yes, you can be Ghanaian and have dyslexia as well.
Yes.
But I mean, a lot of people say, oh, all we need is awareness. What is the point in keep spreading awareness and people are still staggered and they don't want to go forward with it? We'll try our best. Rosalind's doing her bit in Ghana. I'm doing my bit in the UK. There's so many people doing their little bit in wherever they're from, Nigeria, Malawi. They're all doing their bit. But at the end of the day, if we don't shift and we don't admit or accept that this condition that can cripple you till there's nothing left of you, and it is called dyslexia. And you and I know what that condition is. We were very fortunate to have found help and support and come this far. It's not many people that come as far as we have. And this is why I keep hammering on and keep banging and saying, in all shapes of form and saying, look, dyslexia is real. Please go and get the help you need. Please seek the help. If you're male and you're watching, particularly men don't really come forward to talk a lot about these conditions, please do that, because if you don't, and by the way, just before I finish my sentence, it's actually genetic. So if you think that your child is not performing and it's their problem, actually get yourself tested and see. Mum or dad, either one, it's actually genetic. And you can have the condition passed on from your parents. So it's really important that we go for the help we need and sort of stop not want to admit that this condition is real. Now, Rosalind, your confidence level, how was that? We have to talk about that. How was your confidence level by the time you left, JSS?
No. It was damaged. It was killed. And you finish JSS and you have gotten a very poor mark. You are unable to go to the regular high school, which I can mention, oh, I'm going to Bree Girls or I'm going to Wegehe. And then what you say? You're going to Liberty Specialist Vocational School? Oh my goodness. What? So everybody, oh, she's going to vocational school. So you're even hiding from your friends that you're going to vocational school. So I just went to this school and just focused over there. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do my best to make it. But what really inspired me was at the end of that term, and my dad was coming to pick me, the proprietor called my dad and said, excuse me, is it the same child you spoke about that you don't have any expectation of why you brought her here into the school? My dad said, yes. Then he was like, look at her results. She's performing. And I remember my dad asked, are you sure this is my child results? For him, he was thinking probably I've cheated somebody and gotten the marks. And the professor said, no, it's a practical school. She can't teach. She can't cheat anybody. This is her result. She is doing well. And I believe this girl is going to do well. It was like the first time in my life somebody said something positive. And with those words to me, I took it upon and I was like, you know what? I'm going to come back. I'll be in this school and I will be very studious. I will command everything in this school. So came back to the school the following term and I either am first or second. Got myself into all sorts of activity. peer education. I'll do poetry. I'll be like a house leader. I was involved in so many things, close to the teachers, asking questions. You come to class, by the time the teacher starts, I'm already in front of the board teaching my colleagues catering, food and beverage, teaching them. And with that resilient spirit, I made it through the school, came into the industry and kill it. And that is how I have managed to be through my career journey till I got to the master's level. And that was when I finally became aware that, oh, so all this has been as a result of what is called dyslexia. And for me, the day that I accepted that I'm dyslexic was when I had a moment of relief. Because as an adult working, sometimes you go for meetings and you forget yourself. They ask you to take minutes and you're trying to hide because you feel like, oh my God, why are they asking me? My grammar is poor. I'm not good at spelling. I'm not this. But when I became aware that it's actually dyslexia, and for me, Liz, probably you had an assistant, but I have never had any assistance. I have never had any intervention. And so everything that I am today is through the grace of God and also my own hard work.
Right.
That is how I am here today.
Wonderful. What a beautiful story. And I just hope that, our viewers and listeners, please do drop in the comments, do share the live show that we have today. I'm sure other countries, Nigeria, Malawi, Zimbabwe, other countries, there is dyslexia everywhere, by the way. It's not just in the UK and America. Everywhere there is dyslexia. Now, the good thing is if you find that, for example, if you find that learning, i.e. reading, spelling, writing, grammatically, when you're trying to kind of process information and things are not going in properly, and you'll keep asking the same questions and you're forgetting people's names, and people are giving you directions to go places and you're getting lost everywhere, whilst the teacher's teaching, you're not actually engaging, you're sort of looking out the window, you're daydreaming. Try and do a dyslexia test if you can. Now, you can do a screening and you can also do a dyslexia assessment. I don't normally say the assessment is a must at this stage, but if you're at school, if you're at college, if you're a parent, your child's at school, maybe speak to, in Ghana, I don't know about sort of special education needs and Senko, but speak to the teacher. I'm very sure 2020 by now, Ghanaian schools or the teachers must at least know what dyslexia might be. And if they don't, they probably don't, or do they? You tell me. Is there an awareness in Ghana?
That is why we're creating. But the thing is, I have to acknowledge, we have Dyslexia Ghana who have been in the system for the past 10 years. And they have done tremendous work. But the thing is, the message needs to still continue. And that's why I'm so happy that I'm also back in the space now and I'm doing this. It will shock you. There are some very notable high schools in Ghana here. When I mention the name, your jaw will drop. That's some principals, some head of schools, some teachers don't know what dyslexia is about. So and so if they don't know what dyslexia is about, the probability they don't know dysgraphia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia is high. And parents don't know. I mean, I'm always receiving calls. Today alone, I picked 3 calls from parents. And they're like, oh, what's your show? Oh, I read your article. And I'm so sorry. I've been beating my child. So now I think my child may be dyslexic. So there is a lot of work to be done here. We are on it. We'll do our best. I just reached out to, contact with Dyslexia Ghana founder, and we're going to do a massive awareness here. Because for me, what I went through, Rosalind, I don't want
anyone to go through it. Absolutely.
Never. It wasn't a good experience. And was I only the students that didn't perform in the school? No. And some of them, what are they today because they didn't get maybe the support that I had, as in somebody telling me, no, I believe in you and I know you can do it. They didn't get. So today you ask of them and they will, oh, this person is in this village. She has like 5 children. She's finding it very hard taking care of them. But they could have been sitting in the seats I'm sitting in today.
Absolutely.
Supporting the help, or somebody hold their hands and say
So
something.
shouldn't that really start with the Ghanaian education system? Should they not be the governmental sort of in terms of education, bringing this forefront, bringing this forward? Because there's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of people with creativity in Ghana. Amazing, amazing, amazing artists, people that make sculptures. When I went to Ghana, I haven't been for a very long time, but when I did go, and I stood back, and it was a 10-year-old who was an artist, and he's doing this amazing piece of art on canvas, and I'm like, whoa. And I'm thinking, well, the only reason why probably he's doing this because academically he's probably struggling. This is a skill that is, and there's so much creativity. Shouldn't this conversation start with the Ghana education system? Surely.
It has to start with them, and they know about it, because in 2013 there was a policy that was passed out which had inclusive education. And per my research, the government tried to do something where we want every child to feel included, we are supporting every child. But it's not effective, because one person that I spoke with alone is the only teacher for 4 clusters of schools.
Wow.
In her division. So one teacher, 4 clusters of schools. How effective will she be? She visits each schools like 1 or 2 days in a week. And so ask yourself, if a child with special needs, learning needs, need help, how can one person support them? I feel like we have a fantastic opportunity here in Ghana, which I'm working on an article or a write-up to submit to the Ghana Education Service. We have Ghana Teachers Training College. And I feel like it's a perfect opportunity that every teacher that goes through this Teachers Training College must take a training in what all the learning differences are. They should know, be aware, be able to identify a child. And also, every district should have, or every region, we have 16 regions now, should have a center for assessment. Now, as we speak, if you want to do assessment, you need to be in Accra. Have people in North, the northern part of Ghana, who parents want to have assessment done for their children. I sent a message to some couple of contacts I need, like, I need you to help me identify somebody in the North or Upper East to really do assessments for people over there. And it's been 2 weeks now. I don't have, and I'm following up every day. So we need to put a lot of budget into the education and also focusing on special education
needs. Wow, Rosalind, what can I say? What a powerful story. I mean, you're here today. You've done so well. You are an example of, if you can use your strengths to the best of your ability, you can excel to great things. And I think you've done such an amazing work with what you're doing at the moment. Now, a lot of people say, when you come into Ghana, I'm like, Rosalind's in Ghana. She can deal with the Ghana bit for now. I'm trying to deal with the UK bit. Let me focus with the UK bit, and gradually, eventually, who knows what might happen in the future.
But you should come here sometimes, so we need to be happy as
well. We'll see. It's not that easy, as you know. It's a very sort of difficult conversation to have, but it's not impossible, and you're doing a very amazing work. And of course, recently I did an interview with Denta, who is a very successful, young Ghanaian lady who's got MBE or is it OBE, one of them, and who's got dyslexia and doing very, very well. So gradually and slowly, people are coming out to talk about their condition. At some point, there will be change, but it's baby steps, I guess, to get to where we want to be. So, Rosalind, just before we go, it's been such an amazing conversation. I wish it never stops, but unfortunately, time's not on our side. What advice would you give to anyone who's watching right now, who may be sort of thinking, could I have dyslexia, or maybe not? And how do I go for help if they're in Ghana? What advice can you give to the individual watching right now?
For me, my advice will be that, listen, when it comes to disabilities, there are disabilities you can see physically. So when somebody is disabled, when somebody doesn't have an arm, or say somebody is blind or is deaf. But disabilities that you can see are even much more severe than you may think, which is something like dyslexia, dyspraxia, dyscalculia, and all that.
Mental
It's a
health as well.
mental health as well. It is very important, and these things can really damage you. I was on a call with a woman yesterday, and she was like, I think I'm dyslexic, and I have been battling all my life. So a lot of people are, because it's estimated that between 15 to 20% of every population may be dyslexic. If you think you are in this bracket and you're questioning yourself, sometimes you find it hard to read, you don't like reading loud, you take time to process stuff and all that, then it's still, regardless of your age, I feel you can still find answers. It is comforting for me. I don't know about you, but at least for me, it is comforting when you know that this is what is actually wrong, or this is actually what is the issue. It is comforting. You can get in touch with me. I can link you to a psychometric at the Rich Hospital. I know Dyslexia Ghana also conducts assessment with us. We are now working on all those aspects, so we're not doing assessments yet. However, our website, which is going to be up soon, has like self-assessment screening questions you can do. Mind you, it is not a final, it just gives you an idea. If you may be dyslexic, you can have that. If your child turn out to be dyslexic, that is where the issue is, because there aren't a lot of schools that are accommodating in Ghana. However, there is a way out. There are teacher networks that we are building now. We're going to make sure that they receive the right training, that they can give one-on-one tuitions to your ward. So you should also watch out for that. But remember, every child is a star. Every child has a gift. Therefore, don't box your children into, I want you to be a doctor, I want you to be a lawyer, I want you to be engineering. They are good as well. But spend time nurturing the talents of your child. Spend time finding out what your children are good at and give them that exposure. That will go a long way for them to be something. I don't know, Liz, if you have seen the video of a young man, 18, writing the BC, who built a car.
Yes, I have. I did see that, yeah.
Something like that. But if your child is trying to kind of make up things like that and you're preventing them, know that you're preventing them from their hidden talents. So expose your child.
Excellent. Rosalind, thank you so much for coming on A2I Dyslexia live show. Thank you for the amazing work you're doing back in Ghana. Keep going. Keep going. I know how difficult it must be, but no, don't give up. Keep going and keep spreading the word. And anybody who's watching, it doesn't matter whether we're watching from Nigeria or South Africa or Zimbabwe or Timbuktu, no matter where you're watching from, dyslexia is everywhere. Now, as Rosalind rightly said, get the help you need and you can unlock your full potential. For me, what was so amazing is knowing that there's something called dyslexia. I was like, really? Okay, what help can I get? And as a result of the help I got, I'm sitting here today to obviously share my story with many. So I want to say, Rosalind, thank you so much for coming on A2I Dyslexia live show. May you go from strength to strength to strength. May you just be the voice of Ghana, and may you just continue to do the amazing work that you're doing. Thank you so much. And all our viewers and our listeners, anyone who's watching right now, if you want to get in touch with Rosalind, she's on LinkedIn, she's on Instagram, she's on all the other social media channels, which we will share later on when we're sharing the live show on other platforms. Thank you, everybody. See you next time. I say next time, see you next week. Same time, same place. Take care, everyone, and keep safe. Bye-bye for now. Bye.